I actually feel like, isn't the show still on though? Like, I don't think that the season has wrapped. Usually when seasons wrap.
It wrapped.
Oh, well then Netflix.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
Hey.
Hey, what's the problem here? Come on. Netflix. What's the hold up? Hello and welcome to the Art of Costume Blogcast. I'm Elizabeth Joy Glass.
And I am backup singer to the Cranberries, Spencer Williams.
Yes! Oh my gosh. With my coworkers, we went out and we did karaoke, and I almost was like, should I see if they have Zombie on here?
Come on.
I got very close to karaoke Zombie.
If you want to make a bunch of friends, you got to perform that song. So everyone knows. I mean, I think we've said this before, but Elizabeth kills at Zombie by the Cranberries. We're both pretty big Cranberries fans.
Yes.
Which is relevant this week. We're not just talking about the Cranberries.
Cranberries is super relevant.
How are you, Elizabeth?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
I'm okay. I'm very tired. And it's just hot. And I do like the heat, but it has become a little excessive.
Yeah.
Even I can admit that.
See, I would offer you a cup of coffee, but every time I make coffee in my house, the power goes out.
I think that's the funniest thing ever. But you should also complain to your landlord and have that looked at. Because that's not, your coffee maker should not be throwing out your electricity.
It's just because I have Derry Girls playing in one room, which, granted, it doesn't need to be playing if I'm not in there.
No, it doesn't.
My computer in there, the podcast studio was set up, the laptop was up, my air conditioner's running, and then I was making coffee. So it just happens every summer. Just blow it out. I'm just so sick and tired of the summer. I hate it. And it just makes me so mad.
I miss having living in an apartment and having a pool.
Oh, yeah. Those are the days.
Yeah, I miss that. Because I'm without a pool or easy access to a beach. Yeah. I'm the summer is a little less fun.
See, I have access to the beach, kind of. I still don't want to go because I know there's so many people.
That's fair.
But when Elizabeth and I lived together, we actually had a pool at our apartment. We were out there all the time, partying it up.
Too much.
Drunk. I was always drunk.
A little bit. I remember because I worked constantly when we were in college.
Yeah.
And I would work a Saturday and come home and I'd have texts we're at the pool, and everybody's half drunk already. And I'm I have to do schoolwork, but I guess I'm going to be here for the rest of the day.
It was just, those are the days.
Good times.
Now I'm just fantasizing.
Spencer, what did we watch?
This week, Elizabeth had me watch a show that I've never seen before called Derry Girls, and I loved it.
I love Derry Girls. It's it's cute and heartfelt and funny. It gives you all the feels. And it's you're constantly laughing because they just get themselves into the most ridiculous situations.
So ridiculous, and the accents, oh my gosh, they are just so good. Everything is funny in their accent. It makes me laugh nonstop. Those
good Irish accents. Oh, Spencer, do you want to start us off with a summary?
Of course. So, Derry Girls. Set against the backdrop of the Northern Ireland Troubles, this comedy series follows a group of friends as they navigate their teens in the early 1990s. That is Derry Girls.
If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons of Derry Girls, get yourself on Netflix. If you live in the UK and have access to season 3, good for you. Unfortunately, we do not. Netflix is withholding season 3 from us. Sorry, we won't be discussing season 3 because I have zero access to it.
For once, we prefer you guys don't spoil it for us.
Yeah.
This is your spoiler warning to not spoil season 3 for us because we want it.
Yeah, I've already had a bit spoiled because there's like zero research for Derry Girls except for the third season.
Wow.
So whenever we do season 3, there will be research. But today, seasons 1 and 2, there is not.
There's not much.
Not much at all.
Let's dive into some costumes.
Yes, let's go behind the wardrobe. We have series creator Lisa McGee and then costume designer Kathy Pryor. Her other notable work besides Derry Girls is the TV series Bloodlands. She has worked in costume design for quite a while, though. She worked in the costume department on The Lost City of Z, the TV show The Fall, and The Line of Duty. So I love we've been getting a lot of like newer costume designers recently, and I like it because I'm like, ooh, this feels like a new generation of costume designers coming up, and
so exciting.
Yeah, I feel like they all have like a really fun like spin like in their different styles, but it's exciting,
right? And especially like Derry Girls is set in the 90s, so this early 90s going into later 90s, it just feels so fun to like kind of explore the years that we kind of grew up too at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the 90s when I was too young to actually like remember anything.
Right. I wasn't exactly listening to the Cranberries in a stroller, but I'd like to think that we were.
I probably was because my dad really likes the Cranberries. That's my dad gave me like I think when I was like in high school he had like the CDs like of their collected like works up until that point. He was like, here you go.
Nice.
But anyway, we're gonna take a little break before we jump into season 1.
What's up, costume nerds? This is Spencer, co-host and producer of the Art of Costume Blogcast. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We greatly appreciate all the support. If you want to continue in your support, you can become a costume maven at patreon.com/theartofcostume. There we post unheard bloopers, highlights, and bonus episodes for our costume mavens. You can even chat with other listeners and vote on future episodes. Head over to patreon.com/theartofcostume and subscribe now.
Are you ready to enter free Derry?
I'm very excited. We haven't even talked about the show yet, really.
We haven't. We have episode 1, though, and we are introduced to all of our main characters in really their main costume for the series, which is their Catholic school uniform.
So adorable. Yeah, it's a really great uniform. I like the green on them and the plaid. Of course, It feels very Irish to me, which was, I'm guessing, obviously intentional. But I love how they kind of have like their own personal style to it. They at least try to style them to their own characters.
Yeah, I love that first scene where they're trying to like wear the denim jackets instead of their blazers.
And then don't they show up and they like change their mind because they don't want to get into trouble?
Well, Erin's mom makes her change.
Right.
And then Clare refuses to wear hers I'm not going to be an individual on my own. Which I was like, yes, that's such a teenager thing to say.
Speaking of Clare, I've only seen Nicola Coughlan in Bridgerton 1 and 2, obviously. And I've made it clear that I'm not a Penelope fan in Bridgerton. So seeing her in the show, I was in love with her. She is so great. It just makes me actually kind of mad at Bridgerton. I'm like, wow, what you've done with that character really annoys me because she's so great in the show. She's so funny.
She's so funny. I think part of the reason I like her in Bridgerton is because of Derry Girls. She's fantastic. So we're just going to run down our main characters real quick because there's just a lot of them. It can be hard to remember. Yeah. So we have James, played by Dylan Llewellyn, who is the only man to ever attend their all-girls Catholic school because he is English, and they were afraid he would be beaten up at the boys' school.
Poor James.
Poor James. I do love, though, how, like, really, with the exception of, like, the kilt, it's such a gender-neutral, like, uniform. Like, there's no form to it. There's no distinction. You can put it on anybody.
My favorite character, I believe, is Michelle, played by Jamie Lee O'Donnell. I love the attitude. She's just that one badass chick at the school, just always getting into trouble, always giving all the bad ideas, which I'm like always like, it's a good idea because it's a bad idea.
Yes. She's great. She always has like the best makeup and she always has the biggest earrings.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, dang, I could not have gotten away with that in high school.
Well, she's barely getting away with it too. Yeah. You know?
We also have Saoirse Monica Jackson, who plays Erin, who is just like such a typical overachiever in school.
Yeah, she's trying to make it work all the time. She's also so funny. I love her character.
But probably my favorite character is Orla, played by Louisa Harlands.
I'm
Orla
shocked.
is wild. Orla just doesn't make any sense.
It's so funny that's your favorite character. I would have guessed because I feel like I would attach you to Orla or Erin, a combination of both.
Probably. And then Clare, played by Nicola Coughlan. Again, just an overachiever at school.
I love her. I just love her constant panic and anxiety. I think I just relate to Claire a lot, especially like post-pandemic. I feel panicked about everything. And her facial expressions, she does a lot of face acting in this show. I get it 100%.
Yeah, she's just fantastic and perfect. We also get to meet like their entire families in this episode, but in particular, we get to meet Orla and Erin's family because Orla and Erin are cousins. You have Erin's dad, Jerry, played by Tommy Tiernan. We have Orla's mother, Sarah, played by Kathy Kira Clark. And then
great character.
Great character. She's the reason Orla is the way she is.
Yes.
And we have Mary, played by Tara Lynn O'Neill, who is Erin's mother. And Mary is great and wears the best sweaters.
I was going to say, if there was a costume character in this show, it's actually kind of the grown-ups because Mary is pulling some real, like, period costumes, actually.
Yeah, like, my mom, I think, had some of her sweaters. Like, and, like, the hair. And then Sarah is just, like... I think she doesn't realize she does this weird like 90s, 80s, like high fashion hybrid for her day-to-day life. And I'm just like, okay.
There's Sarah and Orla are like so confused. It's almost like they're like from the wrong family or in the wrong place, but they just happen to be here in this house.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're just not questioning it.
Yeah.
We also get to meet Michelle's mom and James's aunt because they are also cousins, and she just has like the best nurse's uniform. Like, I feel like nurses deserve to be comfy, and this doesn't look comfy, but like, can we get back to some version of this because she just looks like so professional.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of doing like real period type costumes for nurses. No reason, really. I just like nurse period costumes.
They just look so classy.
Yeah, with the little hairpiece. That's cool.
Yeah. Apparently, I think some nursing programs still give those out at like graduation.
You know,
like
actually,
you get one.
Now that you mention it, it's not completely gone. I have seen it sometimes. So
Not completely gone, but we need to bring that back a little bit more. We also have my second favorite character, Sister Michael, played by Sabine McSweeney. Sister Michael has the most boring costumes in this entire series, but she is the funniest person in it.
The funniest character. However, what's so funny about her, though, we'll talk about this probably later, is she does have a very boring costume, but sometimes she'll do like extra, activities where she'll keep her headpiece on. What do you call that?
I think that's the actual habit part of a habit.
Okay. So she keeps her habit on, but she'll like change the bottom part. Oh gosh, what episode was it where she like...
Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
She comes back from like a martial arts class or something.
Yeah. And I do kind of like that she's one of the only nuns we actually see in this. We do get one other nun in this episode who is, in opposed to her, black and white and all gray. And I just like, they have the greatest actors in this because she barely says anything in this episode. But like, just like the all gray, and then with her actions is so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Maybe they're real nuns. I don't know. Maybe they casted a bunch of nuns.
No, Sabine. She actually said she had never met a nun in her life before playing this role.
That's not intimidating or anything.
No, I was reading or listening to something, but everyone's like, does Sister Michael actually believe in God, or was this just like a convenient career path for her?
I kind of thought about that too. It's not that she believes in God or doesn't. I believe she's just like, this is also a job. I don't think she cares what other people believe in. She's like, I'm here from 9 to 5, and then I gotta go home and watch TV.
Spencer, there is one character we haven't spoken about yet. We have Ian McKellen, who plays Joe. Do you know what other show we know him from?
I've been trying to figure it out. I know he's familiar, but I can't
Barristan Selmy.
Nice. Game of Thrones. I could not put my finger on it, but I didn't care enough to look it up. But I was like, I know this man.
I didn't realize that till today when I was on IMDb. And I think his IMDb picture is Barristan Selmy. And I was like, wait, hold on one second.
This is so funny. She sets up like a slide transition so it like slowly dissolves. I was like so excited. Who is it? So I relate a lot to Grandpa Joe. I mean, he's just like, he's a family man. He cares about his family, but he also is going to complain about everything and let you know when he's dissatisfied, which is with everything.
Or at least everything that Jerry does. Yeah. I love it. It's like he loves his daughters with all his heart. He loves his granddaughters with all his heart. Cannot stand his son-in-law, who is nothing but like the sweetest man. Yeah,
he's just Jerry just really gets under Joe's, skin.
Yeah, he does. He does. I love how he's like always the one carrying the baby around, though. All like,
he's a family man.
He is. Whenever they have to go like to the school because they've gotten in trouble for something, they're all there. Which I'm like, why are you there, Grandpa Joe, with the baby? Like, you didn't just leave him home. But I think he doesn't trust Jerry. I think that's.
That's funny. He has to hold the baby because he doesn't trust Jerry.
I think so.
Joe has like this traditional though, like he's definitely like, an older gentleman, but he's like still kind of like put together in a sense that he's going to wake up in the morning. He's going to make sure he's bathed, wear like a nice little shirt, button up in the vest. Like he's not like an old man. He just still knows how to like dress up and look proper and appropriate, which probably is what bothers him about Jerry. Not that Jerry's ever dressed inappropriately, but Joe's like, you need to dress like this every day. You gotta look like me.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's definitely like that World War II generation where it's like you wear your shoes all shiny. You got your slacks, you got your button-down shirt, and your hat, and your every piece of clothing.
Yeah.
You have it on.
Exactly.
Episode 2. I love episode 2 because of the stairs scene, which is basically just like a 90s fashion show, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, it's like every style that was popular in the 90s, they are wearing.
It's so true. Erin in that so denim look. It's so good.
It is. Like, they all, like, Erin and Michelle have the jeans. Claire's got, like, the dress with, like, the t-shirt under it. It's so funny, and they all look so good.
Michelle has like almost like a rock and roll hip hop vibe to her. Like, she's very influenced by music, which we find out later. You know, they all love a certain musician, but like to her, she feels a little bit more streetwear, I guess you could say, in terms of like Northern Ireland goes.
Definitely. I also feel like Orla is already embracing athleisure, like, which like that totally was starting in the 90s with like the kind of like the parachutey pants and like sweatpants and just like an oversized shirt. Like, that's where all that started. Yeah. Sarah takes the cake in this episode in terms of wardrobe.
You know who Sarah is trying to be? She is like she reminds me a lot of Stevie Nicks, actually. Like Stevie Nicks in the 90s. She has this very kind of like whimsical, not necessarily witchy, but like whimsical, loves just like being free in nature, and has like this, but also kind of like gothic rock and roll vibe where she has like this big black choker, kind of like drapey clothing. It's really cool. I like this costume on her, actually.
I love it. And this is where I feel like, okay, like the choker, the pinstripe shirt she has on, I'm like, I feel like that's very 90s. And then she has this like this jacket on that's like silver and black and feels very 80s.
Yeah, I mean, she's torn between these two eras.
We have episode 3 where we have the introduction of Father Peter, played by Art Campion, the suavest priest in the area, I guess.
You have a crush on Father Peter.
A little bit. Like, he's attractive. Like, you can't deny that.
Right. They all have a crush on Father Peter. But his costume is very typical, in sense of like a period costume, or they still the fathers still kind of wear this today. Yeah. So there's a lot of like research, but then also like taking advantage of current garments too in this show.
Absolutely. And I feel like what they do with him is, because part of his whole character is that like he like keeps himself looking very nice. So it's like, I feel like they tailored it really well. Yeah. So that he looked at like the best he could. And then the hair department like did a beautiful job. He has great hair. Yeah,
he does. I'm actually kind of like, I don't know.
Right?
Should I bring a picture of Father Peter, played by Art Campion, to the barber? But I look like this guy from Derry Girls.
Maybe you should. It doesn't. That look is not for James though. Poor James. He like just wants to be Father Peter, and it's just like, your hair's too curly for that look, James. Like, no. And like, maybe wait to like actually go to preschool before you like wear all black and a rosary all over the place. But episode 4, we get some wild moments.
I love episode 4.
I think this was like the episode where I really fell in love with Derry Girls, because they have all the Ukrainian kids coming from Chernobyl. Yeah. And everyone just treats them like so bizarrely. And I love Katya. Yeah, Katya. She is so cool and like so trendy and goth. And I was like, the 90s really is back, because I definitely wore something similar to her party outfit the other day.
She is just giving goth chic. She has the choker, black dress. She has like the black, like slick hair, this cool necklace. She's giving like almost kind of like Evanescence vibes a little bit.
Absolutely Evanescence vibes. I also love Claire's party shirt, which is just the Union Jack. Because she's trying to make a political statement, and everyone's just like, not the time or place, Claire.
Right. That was one of my favorite costumes, I think, from the entire series, actually. I was like, Claire,
absolutely,
calm down. It's okay. Like, you're just at a party, and she always has to, like, take it there.
She always takes it way too far. But that's what I love about this series is, like, it's all very 90s. It's all very, like, you know, in line with the current fashion of the time. And it's like, but every now and then there's just like such a fashion piece or like a costume moment, like Claire's Union Jack shirt, that it's hilarious.
Yeah. What's interesting about shows like this where they, you know, take advantage of a Catholic uniform, so to say, where that's kind of like the main costume throughout the entire series. Then you have these moments where characters have to wear something that's not the uniform. And I feel like costume designers really get a chance to just really shine, and they have to make something of that moment to make it stand out and show off the personality, because when they're wearing the uniforms, it's kind of hard sometimes. So I'm sure the costume designer saw this party scene. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She was also having fun with Mary and Sarah, who are acting like they're still in mourning for their mother when their father brings a date home.
All of a sudden, too, they're like, we're going to be upset about this.
Yeah, I just love how they're just like all in black holding the picture of their mother. It's like, it's hilarious. They're literally in all black. Like, when did you have the time to go do that, ladies? And this poor woman is so adorable and fashionable and just like, oh, your dad's just a nice man.
Oh, yeah. I love that wrap around her. It's so beautiful.
Oh, the scarf. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was, and I love at the end of the episode when Katya's like, she is hot and you are not dead. Like, you go for that relationship, Joe.
I love how Sarah's like suddenly like had to snap out of her being weird era to like, okay, go put on this funeral uniform to support my sister.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so funny. But then things get wild in episode 5. When they're like escaping Derry because of the Orangeman march. Yeah. Which this was one of the things I had to look up because I was like, what the?
Yeah, what is going on here?
It's just a fraternity of Protestant men who, I guess they do these marches from like, it said like April to August.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So there's just always noise.
Yeah. So I guess Catholic people don't really like it. So they're trying to get out of town.
Nice.
But this is like just the Orangeman uniform. I put a picture in of like actual Orangemen. They got them like spot on.
Oh, I thought that was from the show.
No, that's actual Orangemen.
Oh, well then that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
right?
That's like a spitting image. I thought the pictures I was looking at are from the show, but I realized only one of them is.
Yeah, the top 2 are. The third one is in the corner is not. Yeah, she did a really good job on this episode. But episode 6, she got to play with the Catholic uniform a little bit.
Yeah. Because Erin is in charge of the school newspaper for like a hot second. Am I right?
Yeah.
And she goes kind of like into this journalist vibe. So to like show that, she's like kind of rolling up her sleeves a little bit in this episode, taking off her jacket, just looking like real get to work, because she's found something that she actually cares about, which is pretty rare in the show, really. I mean, our characters don't really care about much except making trouble and music.
Yeah. But I love their button down shirts in this episode because something happens that I've been warned about my entire life, but has never actually happened to me, where it's like 2 story points converge because they need to pick. Jerry needs to pick up some photos, but doesn't have the little receipt. Mary is like, I need everybody's white clothing. Give me your white clothing to wash. She's like forcing everybody to strip down so she can do a full load. And then when they finally find the receipt, it was in the wash, it was red. So now all of their tops and white clothes are pink.
Okay, I was rewatching this episode this morning, actually, and I forgot. And I was like, is her shirt pink or is it the lighting? You're so right. And it's so funny you bring this up because I've been warned about this my entire life, too.
Right?
I've never actually seen it happen to like the extent that we've always been warned. Are our parents just trying to scare us?
I think just dye fastness has gotten significantly better.
Right.
In the last like 20 some odd years, so that like this doesn't really happen anymore. I also think because so much more of our clothes are made out of polyester.
Yeah.
I think that's like cotton probably will absorb whatever is in there. Polyester isn't as likely to, though.
Well, to be fair, I wear white about probably 3 times a year, so I'm not one to always be afraid of this. But whenever I do wash anything white, I'm always like super nervous about it.
Yeah, no, I have a couple of like white tops, and they go in just all by themselves. I also I treat them very gently. I'll usually put them in like a delicates bag too. So I'm just like, nothing's going to happen to my whites.
If our parents are listening, you really scared us straight on this one. So
you did. Also, I had textile teacher. I took her 2 quarters in a row. And she was also very like, don't mix colors with your whites. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Anyway, we have a talent show in which Orla truly is the shining gem of.
This is one of my favorite scenes of the entire series. It's so funny because Erin and Clare are having an argument, kind of. It's dumb. And they decide all to come together because they're like, that's my dick. And so they all get up and they get on stage and support Orla. And it kind of made me
step aerobic goals.
Yeah, maybe tear up a little bit.
Yeah, it was. So another great part about the shirts being pink in this episode is that Clare comes out in this episode. Everyone finds out she's gay. And Sister Michael is like, oh, is this part, are you supporting this? And this is the episode where I really liked Sister Michael because they're gonna, Clare wrote an anonymous paper about, you know, a lesbian in Catholic school and having to be closeted, and Clare decides to publish it. And at first, Sister Michael's like, no, you can't. This is a Catholic school. Like, what are you doing? And then when Jenny Joyce is like, oh my gosh, are you going to punish them, sister? She just turns around like she saw absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then when they're all up there supporting Orla, she's like smiling a little bit to herself. And I'm like, I think Sister Michael secretly loves that group.
Yeah.
But will never admit it.
Yeah, she's not allowed to admit it, but this is just a job, and she just wants to support these kids. She's just not allowed to like physically show it.
Yeah. I think her principals won't let her.
Yeah.
But I do love Orla's step aerobic outfits because it has that like just that very 90s like weird like dancer print on it, and then like fantastic multicolor leggings and leg warmers.
Yeah, it's really 90s actually. I feel like I remember seeing this look.
Like if you were doing anything remotely physical, like this is what you were wearing.
Right.
But with that coming together of friends in support of each other, season 1 ends. Spencer, after our break, are you ready for season 2?
I am. I'm loving this show. I need more.
You're going to get more. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Dan, audio engineer of the Blogcast, here to let you know that if you wanted to support the show, you can head over to theartofcostume.com/podstore. There you can buy some awesome TeePublic merch with the Blogcast logo. We have shirts, sweaters, coffee mugs, stickers, and of course, a baby onesie. Thank you for all of your support.
Spencer, are you ready for a piece of that fine Protestant ass? Do you not remember this episode?
I do now, but I was unprepared for that intro.
Oh, the ladies are back, and they are gonna do a little away trip to make friends with the Protestant boys' school.
Such a fun episode. And I'm reminded by a character that we haven't really talked about too much is Jenny Joyce. I know she's like the villain, but I love Jenny. She's so funny because she's so adorable. She's just really annoying.
She is. She's really annoying. She's just like she's going to be the perfect housewife one day. Like, she's going to be in charge of the PTA, like, and everything. And she's just, like, preparing for that.
Yeah.
Like, she's over-controlling of everything, like, is a snitch through and through.
Yeah.
Will do whatever it takes to please Sister Michael.
Right. Let's dive into this episode. Michelle's orange jacket.
Her bomber jacket,
yeah,
adorable.
That's a good look. That's a good look. Always wearing the hoop earrings, though.
Always wearing the hoop earrings. I love that they all have this Friends Across the Barricade shirt with the hands making the heart. But they've all really styled it in, like, their own unique way. Clare has got just, like, this whole, like, pink and, like, teal ensemble, which I was like, yes, Clare, like, you go for it.
Yeah, she's very cute.
James and Erin are just like very 90s with their like shirling lined like denim jackets. And we also get to see a tiny little costume piece that's not really talked about, but they wear throughout the rest of the season are their little rainbow pins in support of Clare.
That is so cute. I love it so much.
It's so cute. And it's like, oh, they're being individuals all together, finally.
Yeah, I love this friend group. My favorite look, though, was Orla showing up in the camouflage.
The camouflage and the beret. Like, she's like a special forces, like, survivalist. And it's like, Orla, what? I love how Sarah's like, we went camping and I almost left her there. She was just so happy to be in the wild. That's like, yeah, I think Orla might belong in the wild. I'm not sure, but maybe.
Orla's so funny.
It's so funny.
But she does accessorize it with a bunch of pins on like the sleeve, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, it says Moorhead on like the little name part of the jacket. And I'm just like, where did you get this, Orla? Like, what thrift store did you go to find this?
Right.
But we have the return of Father Peter.
Yeah.
Which I love how much Sister Michael hates Father Peter.
Yeah, I'm kind of with her, actually. But Father Peter does have this really incredible jacket that he wears. It's so 90s. It has yellow. It has blue. It's purple. There's so much happening. It's just like, wow, that's a 90s jacket if I ever did see one.
It's this windbreaker, and it has like, it's purple and yellow, and then it also has like these forest green patches which match his like forest green like outdoorsy pants. And then he has the same t-shirt as all the kids, but still has his dog collar on underneath it all. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, another reason I can't wait for season 3 is because I'm like how are they going to bring Father Peter back in season 3?
Netflix. Come on.
Netflix, come on.
I actually feel like, isn't the show still on, though? Like, I don't think that the season has wrapped. Usually when seasons wrap.
It wrapped.
Oh, well then Netflix.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
Hey,
what's the problem here? Come on. Netflix. What's the hold up? There's not even a potential air date for this. They've just been silent Spencer.
Your-
Silent.
Your assertive voice gives me life.
Yeah. It doesn't come out often, but when it does.
Yeah. It really hits. Anyways, back to Derry Girls.
Back to Derry Girls. We also have the Protestant woman who's in charge of the boys' school, who is just the Protestant version of Sister Michael.
Yeah.
But what I love about her costume is the gigantic 90s glasses that everybody had.
They're very 90s, but they're kind of chic on her. Like, she really pulls it off.
Right? Her haircut, like, is perfect with them.
Yeah. Like, I'm, like, looking at her and I'm looking at Sister Michael, and I'm like, I don't know. She kind of has a leg up on you. She's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She definitely has it together. You know who else has it together? That teacher who comes in to teach their English class for a hot second, whose name I cannot remember.
I was going to call her that teacher too. That cool, hot teacher that shows up for a hot minute. She brings out a bunch of cool costumes too. I was like,
yes.
She is hot. And she's like definitely the new cool teacher, and her costumes support it.
These are like the pants I've been looking for. Like, I want those pants. Not quite as billowy, like a little more streamlined, but I've been looking for those pants. I have found them, but I cannot spend like $300 on a pair of pants.
Oh,
so I have not bought them.
You can. She wears like hot dog colors though. She wears like yellow, red, a little bit of blue, kind of like Captain Marvel a little bit.
Yeah, that black and red motorcycle jacket, fantastic.
Fabulous. I love her like all mustard pantsuit look she has going on.
Yes.
Like, so good. Yeah, everyone remembers like having that one teacher who was like the cool, hot teacher, you know, that you're like so excited to go to. And they were just like cool, like saying in class. Actually, one of my history teachers was like that. I hope she's not listening. Anyways.
Who knows? Who knows? Oh, but we talked about this earlier. Sister Michael's karate get up.
Yay, I'm so glad you included this. It was so funny. I just love that she doesn't take off the headpiece. It's just like, it's so funny.
Gotta keep that head covered, Spencer. Yeah. Be wild if she didn't. Immodest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love this. I also love like her like coming in thinking they're like robbers or something, which they technically are.
The kids are everything. They're robbers, they're arsonists, they're just tyrants. I don't know, they're everything.
Oh, but episode 3, when they're trying to go see the boy band, is great because we just get to see so many like random people in this episode.
Yeah.
We have the travelers who are so scary and then just like, nah, we're just the nicest people.
They're hardly scary. I mean, they literally, I get it. I think anyone in public is creepy. If someone talks to me that I didn't want to talk to, I'm like, oh, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
So I get it. But I love like this like Joan Jett-esque character that we see very briefly.
Yes. She's just like, she looks like a rocker who loves classical music, though. Yeah. But like the bandana, the leather vest, and just like the white tank top. She's just like, I'm here for a good time.
Yeah, she's a badass. I agree with you. I like how we got to like leave the town a little bit and go see like other characters. We need to see other people, Elizabeth.
Exactly. We get to see other people in episode 4.
This episode was crazy.
The wedding and a funeral episode. Sarah.
Oh, that look. And it's so funny because I'm tempted to be like, oh, I love her like bridal look. And then I remember she's not getting married.
No. I legit thought in this episode, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, Sarah's getting married. Like I was like kind of surprised. I was like, I didn't think she would marry the photo guy, but all right. And then the bride and the bride's father walk up right behind her. Like, it's the funniest thing. And Like, she looks better than the bride.
Yeah, she does.
She simply does. Like,
She's giving the full fantasy right now.
yeah.
But I love Mary's look, though, too, because she's standing next to her crazy sister.
Yes.
And I don't know, this just gives me Elizabeth vibes. Like, she's very, like, covered up, but, like, very put together, has a fabulous hat, a little scarf moment. She's just looking real Mary.
She is. She definitely is. She's like, Mary is the mother we all had in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
she is.
Some of us.
But, yeah.
This episode also has one of my favorite scenes. I think this is my favorite scene from the entire series, is when they're having an argument and then Rock the Boat comes on and the girls are like, we got to go, Rock the Boat's on. And everyone knows the choreo. I'm like,
yes.
What? How come we never did this?
I didn't know there was choreography to that song. I didn't know.
I'm not positive that there is, but I'm definitely going to research it after we're done recording because I want to know it.
Me too. But my favorite part of this episode is when Mary tells her aunt to drop dead. And then she literally does.
Yeah.
Her aunt looks very put together in this, I must say.
Yeah.
Like strong 90s grandma vibes.
Very strong. I loved her look. It's very, it almost looks like flowers, maybe some butterfly moment. I'm not sure what's happening here. Mm-hmm. Very 90s. Also, did we talk about the groomsman who's wearing like a top hat?
That's a British thing.
Is it?
For weddings. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I'm weird and like watch shows about people getting married.
I was like,
that's a British thing.
I was like, are we watching Emma again? Like, what's going on here?
No, they were like full tails for weddings.
Nice. I like it. I kind of like it, honestly.
It is. It's very chic.
Yeah.
But for Bridie's funeral, I love that Sarah's just wearing like a mourning version of what she wore to the wedding.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like almost the same dress, just black with a cross choker necklace.
Yeah, she goes from like angel chic during the day and then to the funeral. She's back to her Stevie Nicks Evanescence vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, our goth queen.
Our goth queen. But what is not goth is the 1950s prom.
Such a good scene. We need some more prom episodes. I feel like we don't talk about prom enough on this podcast.
We don't. Maybe we should just do Carrie at some point.
Ooh.
We're going to discuss this later.
Yeah,
but nice. I love how Jenny and her friends are just like in these like
ridiculous singing moments that show up out of nowhere for no reason, and we all have the same reactions as the entire school. Just
they're like, what?
Why?
And they're wearing these like Barbara Shop quartet type like jackets. It's like, why, Jenny? And then like the copy she wrote for the prom, Sister Michael starts to read it, and Sister Michael is like, this is insane. You read it.
Yeah, I'm not reading that.
So funny. They gain a friend who is not around for long.
No, very quick.
Because she's a bit of a troublemaker. And then Orla has another fabulous fashion moment where she considers wearing a snowsuit to the prom. Just like the way she jumps out of the fitting room, the confidence she has. We should all have Orla confidence.
Honestly, Orla is teaching us some lessons over here because Orla doesn't give a fuck.
She doesn't. She doesn't. Like, she knows who she is and is not afraid to show that to the world. But I love everybody's look for the prom. I have to say, Clare looks the best.
Oh, yeah.
The color, the cut. Like, I love how it's like these like triangle halter, but then with like a off the shoulder sleeve. Like, it's an insane combination, but it really works for her.
I love Michelle's look because it is just everywhere. You said this is a 1950s prom?
Yeah. She is like, did you think you were going to like a Guns N' Roses prom? Like,
it's so funny. It's like, it's supposed to be 1950s, but to me it feels very 80s Madonna. She has like looks like bobby pin moments like in the center of her dress.
She has safety pins pinning her like boobs together.
It's so badass. So like she's a rocker chick like through and through, and she's not gonna let some dumb 50s theme change what she's gonna wear to prom.
She's not. Erin, however, does change what she's gonna wear to prom because she gets a lovely but very uncomfortable prom dress when she thinks the boy she really likes is going to take her.
Yeah.
And that is just like the saddest scene. Like, it's so sad. Like, Sarah and Mary are just like, he's going to come. He's going to come. And then, like, I love that Mary calls James, and James is wearing a great Doctor Who getup. And it's just like, I'm your friend. This is important. I'm here for you.
That's very sweet.
It's so sweet. And then Erin's like, yeah, I'm going to change into my Easter dress that matches Orla. And Orla and Erin are the only ones who dressed appropriately for this prom, except for Jenny Joyce, like the perfect 1950s gown.
Yeah, who ends up recreating a scene from Carrie.
Oh, gosh. That was the best part of that. And they all get in trouble, even though they were trying to, like, keep her from getting tomato juice all over.
I love that our friends, I was like, I want to be friends with them. How weird. I love that the group of friends goes up to save her, even though no one could stand this girl.
No. It's like they're good people at heart. They just do insane things.
Yeah.
Also crazy, we get to meet James's mom finally in episode 6.
Very chic.
Right?
She's a traveled woman.
She is. She's so confident. She loves how she looks. Is like, I'm going to look the best that I can at all times. Terrible mother.
Yeah.
Like, not great, but looks fantastic.
Yeah. She was giving me like Cate Blanchett vibes when she walked in.
Yes.
Ooh.
Also in this episode, I don't think I've seen this many American flags outside of an American 4th of July party. Oh,
because Bill Clinton shows up. I forgot. I was trying to remember why there's American flags.
Because Bill Clinton's there. Literally, like, I don't think I've ever seen this much, like, American paraphernalia in an American TV show.
Right. It's hilarious. And it was a good end to the season, which brings me back to our point we made earlier. Netflix.
Where's season 3?
Hello.
Where is it?
It's been 30 minutes since we brought this up. So
yeah. Where's a release date? Where's a sliver of hope? We need to know, Netflix.
I'm getting more and more upset by the second, if you can't tell.
Right? I certainly am. I've waited long enough.
Yeah. I just started a show last week and I'm already growing impatient, Netflix.
Yeah.
But also, we love you, Netflix.
We do.
Support us.
Yeah. But that brings us to the end of season 2, where James admits that he is a Derry girl.
We're all Derry girls.
It's so cute, Spencer.
Oh, so cute. I love this show. I'm so glad you made me watch it. I've heard about the show a lot from just like random people. And I totally thought this was like a 1950s period show. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, I did not know what it was. I thought it was just like another, like, I don't know. And then I turned it on and I was like, what is this? Why is the Cranberries playing? Like, this is not what I imagined. Yeah. I was so wrong.
Because literally the first thing you hear is a Cranberries song, and the first thing you see is a Cranberries poster.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wonder why Elizabeth picked this one.
And then you knew right away.
Well, Elizabeth, are you ready to play our favorite game?
Spencer, I am. The one costume to rule them all. Spencer, what was your one costume to rule them all?
I've actually changed mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be, so I wanted to say Orla's ski suit, but actually it's a combination. This week I am doing a combination of Orla's Bermuda Triangle of looks. Because originally I was going to pick Michelle's prom look, but no. I love that Orla wore her step costume, her camouflage suit, and she was going to wear that ski jacket. She wears the most inappropriate things at all times, and she doesn't care at all. And I love that about her. She will wear whatever she wants. So I think if I were going to pick one, I would say Orla's step costume she wore in season 1 when everyone performed with her. She just doesn't care.
She doesn't.
And I love that about her. And I feel like the costume designer really just supported her. She's like, whatever the script says, she gets.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Absolutely. I love that. Orla is the one costume to rule them all.
Yeah, she wears them all.
She does. She does. My choice is, I guess, Orla's inspiration. I chose Sarah's wedding guest look. Because it's such a red herring. Because it makes you think this is going to be like a way different episode for like a couple seconds until you see the bride come up behind her.
Right.
And then you're like, oh no. Okay, she's not getting married.
It's so funny. It's actually, when I watched this the first time, I was at our friend's house having drinks. So I was already kind of like a little buzzed when I was watching this. And I was like, I have to do the podcast. I got to finish Derry Girls. I turned on this episode and I was like, oh my God, what did I miss? Like, Sarah's getting married? Am I drunk?
No, you weren't drunk. She was just inappropriately dressed.
That's so funny.
Oh, Spencer. What are we watching next week?
Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, next week, I'm very excited that Hot Girl Summer is continuing with one of my favorite hot girls. It just feels weird even saying it. We are diving into the incredible life of Tammy Faye Baker. We're going to watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
I'm so excited. I just watched this movie for the first time this morning, and we need to talk about this. So everybody, get on HBO Max, watch The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Tell us how much you loved it. You can tell us on our Instagram at The Art of Costume Pod, on TikTok at The Art of Costume. If you want like more stuff to love from us, you can become our patron at patreon.com/theartofcostume. Or if you just want to tell people how much you love us, you can check out theartofcostume.com/pod store. Get a cute little t-shirt or something.
Yeah, get a t-shirt. I know it's hot and you need some more short sleeves in your closet right now.
Yes, you do.
And if you want to tell us what your favorite costume was from Derry Girls, make sure you leave us a voicemail at 626-515-1826. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all the costumes from Derry Girls.
Yes, and if you love this episode or any of our others, please leave us a little 5-star text review on Apple Podcasts. That really helps us out. Everybody, thank you for listening and have a wonderfully cool week.
The Art of Costume Blogcast is hosted and produced by Elizabeth Joy Glass and Spencer Williams. Our audio engineering and editing is done by Dan White. Follow us on Instagram at The Art of Costume Pod or visit theartofcostumeblogcast.com for all blogcast updates. If you want to support the show, go to theartofcostume.com/podstore. Or you can head over to patreon.com/theartofcostume for some bonus content. For more costume reviews, deep dives, and interviews, head over to theartofcostume.com, a blog dedicated to highlighting the best in costume design.
Testing. Okay, I think it's fine.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh my god. The first time I forget in weeks.
I'm just reading what Zoom is telling me.
Well, you could do it now.
Okay.